Hello everybody, my name is Steven and welcome back to the Storytime channel. Without wasting any time, let's get into our stories of the day. Of course I really do work here. Look how I'm dressed. So I took my mom to get some groceries and stuff at Mr. Walton's department store. This just happened yesterday, Saturday. Being really nice out, I'm wearing an old and faded black t-shirt with denim coveralls that I cut the legs off for summer. Mom is in her 80s and has a rollator walker, so I push her cart and she walks beside me. I try to do the food items last so the cold stuff stays cold, but Mom insisted on starting on that side. Okay, I gave in and off we went. After the groceries were in the cart, Mom heads us over to electronics because I was telling her that hubby and I are debating buying all the Avengers movies versus getting a streaming service. Mom wanted to see the cost of the DVDs. This is where we met Karen and her spawn. I am explaining DVD versus Blu-ray to Mom when Karen walks up and tells me she needs my help next. Mom is sitting on her walker while we are talking. I politely told her I don't work here, I'm a customer. Then I point out an employee in a blue vest. No, you're obviously helping this old lady to buy a DVD player. I'm just telling you I am next. Sorry, but I really don't work here. I'm shopping with my parent. Listen here, Missy, I know you work here. Now as soon as you're done with this old lady, I am next. One thing I forgot to mention. I have blue hair right now and had my hair up in 2 ponytails. I know I don't look like a kid, but I definitely don't look 50 either. I hate being called Missy, especially when the carbon-based life form is younger than me. If any of you have read other shopping trips I have posted, you know my mom is a very feisty Italian. Mom says, listen lady, open your ears. My daughter doesn't work here. Look how she's dressed. Ma'am, please, I'm just asking this girl to serve me next. Karen Spawn says, Mom, she really doesn't work here. Look at her clothes and hair. Just be quiet. You wanted a Switch? We're going to get you a Switch. If this girl doesn't show more respect, I'll make sure we get a discount. By this point, my mom is done. In Italian, she starts cussing out this woman. My mom does not like being the center of attention, but man, if you annoy her, duck and run. Just duck and run. Sales staff finally make it over to us since Mom is getting louder the longer you let her go. Karen sees the employee and starts in on how rude I am and what a horrid employee I am, and that I need to be disciplined for my attitude towards her. The employee looks at me, my mother, and Karen and politely, in Italian, asks my mom what happened. My mom calmly explains and refers to Karen as puta. I'm dying trying not to laugh. Karen has her say, and finally it's my turn and I turn to Karen. Look, I don't know who your parents are, but sweetie, I could be your mother. You teaching your kid to act like this is unacceptable, especially right now with the pandemic and places going out of business. I am pretty sure you knew all along that I don't work here and were hoping to cause enough of a scene to get the acting manager to give you a massive discount. I'm here to tell you that ain't happening today. Not here, not in the store. You think that just because I am dressed in old frayed clothes you can pull a stunt like this? Then tell the staff that I accosted you and I caused all the drama? Guess again, child. On top of your bad behavior towards me, you have caused my mother to get upset. I am so tempted right now to call the cops and have you charged with harassment and elder abuse. Karen left, Mom and I finished shopping and left. In the car, Mom says, I guess you're a little stressed today, huh? Oh my god, that was the understatement of the year. Man, that's one feisty mother. Does this story remind anybody of their parents acting in a similar way for them before? If so, let me know your story in the comment section down below. I'm 14, I don't work at Costco. Okay, I've been reading this subreddit during quarantine and just remembered a story from about 9 months ago. One day, my mom decided she wanted to get a new computer. Her work was being acquired by a bigger company and she thought she was going to be fired. She thought that Costco was the best place to do it, and I agreed to help her because she doesn't know much about computers. We browsed for about 15 minutes and I told her that there wasn't anything appropriately priced for her needs here when I hear, a nice gentleman says, excuse me. I turn to see an older gentleman with an iPhone 7. Can I upgrade this to an iPhone X? I walk over, never being one to not help someone with their phone. He tells me that he has Verizon and wants to upgrade to the iPhone X. I don't work here, but if I were you, I would wait a month or so and see what Black Friday deals Verizon has. I got my iPhone X for $500 no trade-in, and by that time, Apple would have released a new phone lowering the price even more. Nice gentleman says, "I'm sorry and thank you, I will do just that." He leaves me alone and I go to look at devices for a little longer. But before I can even go back to looking, I hear, "Excuse me." I, not knowing she was talking to me, go to browse. "Excuse me." I turn around and see she was standing behind me. "Finally, I need a computer." Me, not feeling like dealing with another person, tell her, "I don't work here." "Yes you do, I just saw you helping that man." "I did, but I don't work here." "Yes you do, now I need a new computer." "No I don't, I'm 14. I see my mom start walking over and I start walking towards her. "Don't walk away from me." "Hey mom, should we keep shopping? I don't think we should get anything here." I turn around to see Karen go pale as I give my mom a hug and walk away. I tell my mom the story as we continue shopping and we have a good laugh about the idiots of the world. That's actually pretty effective if you're with your parent, just walk over and give them a hug. I surely hope that a Karen upon seeing that would be able to snap out of it, but you'd be surprised too. "I don't work here now, we are closed, I can't sell you anything now." So I do not browse the sub often, so I don't know if this counts because I, 19-year-old female, do work in there, just not at 1 a.m. when our reception clearly works till 11. This happened last night. For backstory, my dad has a small hotel with 15 rooms and a bar/reception downstairs. And I work there every summer. Bar/reception works till 11, which I tell every guest that checks in, along with giving them keys to the back doors since main entrance is locked every night. That is the same thing I said to a guy, let's call him M, when he checked in yesterday afternoon. That was only after he made me a scene because our rooms are advertised to be $60 and his bill was $62 because we are obligated to pay a fee to our country for every foreign citizen that stays here. But it wasn't my first time dealing with an a-hole customer and I just apologized, offered a free dessert, and brushed it off. Yesterday it was 15 to 11 and I was getting ready to close and only 2 tables being occupied in the bar were one with 3 of my friends and one with 5 guys that work across the street and are regulars. I like them because they are nice and tip well and they like me because I often let them pick music so we are friendly. So when they told me that one of them just became an uncle and they wanted to celebrate and to stay a little longer, I said sure and gave them 2 beers each in advance and they paid for them. Nothing in town works past 11 because the last corona measures have not been lifted yet, so they had nowhere else to go. My friends weren't in a hurry and said they would stay too, and I poured myself a beer and everyone paid. I closed the cash register and turned off the computer and the printer, knowing that I won't be printing any bills until morning. I also washed everything and prepared for the morning shift except for the literal glasses we were using. I turned off the music and sat with my friends. Fast forward 1.5 hours, everything is good. I am playing gin rummy with my friends and those other guys are talking and having fun too, when M comes down from his room wanting to buy bottled water and sees me playing cards. He proceeds to tell me how unprofessional and lazy I am, how he will be sure to report to my manager tomorrow morning when he checks out how I tried to cheat him for $2 on the bill for his room and some other ugly stuff. Now, I don't care what he thinks. I know I was not doing anything wrong, but at that moment I am intimidated because a man is towering over me and yelling and I almost start to cry. What I don't see is 8 guys, 3 of my friends and those other 5 regulars, standing up behind me approaching and asking him if he has some problem and why is he yelling. M calms down when he sees them and says that there are no problems and he just wanted to buy bottled water. I say that I work until 11 and it is long past it and I can't sell anything since our cash register is electronic and one can see at any moment at which times it was used. And if inspection were to come and see we were selling things past 11, we would be in trouble. He asks to speak with the owner and I say that it is 1 a.m. and that he is sleeping. He is insistent and I call my dad and tell him that a man insists on calling him since I refuse to sell him a bottle of water. M now starts speaking, interrupting me, taking the phone from my hand, saying that I am playing cards instead of working. And my dad says, so she is sitting in a place her family owns, having fun with her friends, making no noise, and you came in a bar that was closed? And M stutters, apologizing, finishing the conversation very quickly. This morning, the guy that was working first shift says M left a huge tip and demanded that it was shared with me. The worst thing is that our tap water is fine to drink, and it is written so next to the literal tap. He later claimed he didn't know that. It sucks that OP had to deal with it, but it must have felt so satisfying to hear their dad pop in and absolutely shut this guy down. The Double I Don't Work Here Whammy. Late 2000s. Background: I'm shy about jack squat. I work in healthcare tech and I was a hospital volunteer growing up. Periods don't bother me. Squeamish men can up a flagpole as far as I care. I live near a mall, a big one, 3 floors with 4 anchor stories. I'm a professional and I wear a shirt and tie to work every day, pressed slacks, nice shoes. I have my work ID and maglock door card on my belt. I'm on my way home and my wife calls asking if I will pick up feminine products, period pads guys, for her. I swing by the mall as it's literally 2 minutes from my exit, and I go to a big store named for something a marksman would aim at. I enter the aisle for feminine products looking for my wife's brand of pad. No luck. I assume that I'm the moron and so I keep looking, scanning the aisle. Karen 1 says, "Where's brand I happen to be looking for too?" "No idea, ma'am. If you see any, let me know." "What? You're the one who works here, not me. Why would I help you find your own products?" No, ma'am. I don't work here. I'm looking for pad brand for my wife." "I can see you're a manager. You even have a tag. Now help me find brand of pad." "I don't work here. I work for a company I really work for. This is my ID and door badge. Wanna see?" I pull it off my belt and show her. The logo is red, but it looks nothing like the store named after a block of hay that an archer would shoot at. Karen 1 proceeds to huff and move on. So do I. This store really missed the mark. I move on down the mall to the grocery store that anchors the other end. Yes, this mall is big enough to have a full grocery store and a department store that also sells groceries. I go looking for pad brand. Enter Karen 2. The store did have the pads I needed to get, but I hadn't picked the pads up yet, so my hands were empty. To save space, the conversation was almost identical, except that she wasn't looking for the same pad brand. She wanted to know where something else was, and she didn't huff and leave. She went full Karen before the badge was shown. "Well, what are you doing in the feminine products aisle if you aren't a manager?" My wife needs, "That's a likely story. Show me your badge then." Here you go. Karen 2 doesn't register the completely different logo. The store is not red themed. She just wants my name. "I'm going to call general manager. My husband knows him because he used to work here and I'm going to have you fired." "Okay, but when you do that, tell him I quit." Karen 2 sputtering. "You're a freaking a-hole, do you know that? Lazy." And so it went. The woman's practically spitting on me as she spat expletives. I, having had it, and having picked up the pads by now because I'm not stopping for some batty Karen, head to the only express checkout lane with an employee working. Karen 2 follows. Karen 2 cuts ahead of me. Karen 2 assails the poor checkout clerk. "This man has been accosting me. How dare you employ such a horrible manager? I'm going to have him fired." "Would you call security? This freak has been accosting me and I'm about to lose it." Karen 2 screeched. Literally screeched. There is nothing more powerful than delivering the worst curse word possible in a matter-of-fact voice to somebody who has already lost their cool 10 miles back and is now in full Karen mode. The "how dare yous" were almost as prevalent as the purse clutching. Manager comes over. Karen 2 gets the truth from the horse's mouth. Being Karen, she then proceeds to huff and say that the general manager will hear about how badly she's being treated and so forth. I decline to press charges because, honestly, I don't want to spend any more days talking to lawyers or cops than I have to for my job. Twice in one day in one mall because I'm not afraid to buy period pads, tampons, or any other product my wife needs. It's great that OP is not afraid to buy those things for his wife, but how really relevant is the fear of buying those things to the story? I'm not trying to put the story down, I'm just trying to understand the relevance of saying that they're not afraid to buy them. To me, it sounded more like the badge and the outfit was the fault and the Karen's going crazy, not the fear of buying period pads. Put your cart back, lady. I, 20-year-old male, took my friend to the grocery store today and waited for him in the car. While I was sitting there, the woman parked next to me decided to just push her cart between our cars and leave it there. Well, that doesn't sit right with me because if you give even one half of one crap, you can find a cart return somewhere nearby, and in our circumstance, there was one less than 30 feet away. So I got out of my car and grabbed her cart to take it back, but I also flipped her the bird. Well, I put her cart back and turned around to see her approaching me. She asked me if I flipped her off and I said yeah, because you didn't put your cart back and it's literally the easiest thing in the world. She started lecturing me about respect and the unacceptability of flipping people off. Next thing I know, she's telling me to come along with her so we can go and find my manager. Well, I obviously don't work here. I'm not wearing a company uniform, and in fact, I'm wearing sweats and an old t-shirt with holes in it. I very bluntly state that I don't work here, and the look on her face was priceless. She no longer had any way to make me atone for my egregious sin. She stuttered on her words for a second before asking me if I had parents who ever taught me respect. I responded, obviously I do. They taught me enough respect to put my freaking cart back. Well, she had no clue how to respond to it and shuffled back to her car, leaving me feeling proud of my small victory against the Karenhood. This is one of those arguments where you know you are so in the right that no matter what, you can only do nothing but the right thing and shut this Karen down. That would have been so satisfying in person. But with that being said, that's all the stories we have for today. So what I want to know is, which of these stories was your personal favorite and why? Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you all so very much for watching and listening to the Storytime channel today. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. Thank you all again for watching and listening to the Storytime channel.